The first time I met Vivian, I was wearing her husband's shirt. I just stepped out of Nathan's apartment to grab coffee from the cafe downstairs. His shirt thrown over my leggings, my hair still messy from sleep. We'd been dating for 8 months, and staying over on Saturday nights had become our routine. She was standing by the elevator, elegant in a cream blazer, expensive handbag over her shoulder. Something about her seemed familiar, but I couldn't place it. "Excuse me," she said, her voice eerily calm. "Do you live in 4B? "No, I'm just visiting." She looked at the shirt, looked at my face. Something shifted in her expression. "Nathan's apartment." It wasn't a question. I froze. "How do you know Nathan?" The elevator dinged. The doors opened. She stepped inside and held my gaze. "I'm his wife." The doors closed before I could respond. I stood there, paralyzed, the coffee growing cold in my hand, my entire world unraveling in slow motion. 8 months earlier, Nathan walked into my life like answered prayer. I was 31, freshly out of a 5-year relationship that had ended when my ex decided he wasn't ready for commitment. I'd spent 6 months in recovery mode, therapy, gym, girls' nights, the whole healing playbook. I met Nathan at a friend's housewarming party. He was charming, attentive, the kind of man who made you feel like the only woman in the room. He worked in finance, traveled frequently, and had recently gotten out of something complicated. "I'm not looking to rush into anything," he'd said on our first date. "I just want to build something real with someone real." I should have asked more questions. What was the complicated thing? How recently had it ended? Were there still loose ends? But I was so tired of being alone, so ready to find my person. And Nathan said all the right things. He called when he said he would, showed up when he promised, took me to nice restaurants and weekend getaways, and met my parents within the first 3 months. "This one's different," my mother said approvingly. "He has follow-through." I agreed. Nathan had follow-through in everything except the truth. Looking back, the signs were everywhere. Nathan never stayed the entire night. He'd leave around midnight, claiming early morning meetings or gym commitments. When I suggested spending weekends together, he always had work trips or family obligations. His phone was permanently face down. When it rang, he'd step away to take the call in another room. When I asked about it, he said he was dealing with a complicated situation with his ex that required delicate handling. "She's not taking the breakup well," he explained. "I'm trying to be kind about the transition." I believed him because I wanted to believe him, because the alternative was too painful to consider. I never went to his apartment. He said he was renovating. The few photos he showed me were of an empty space, gray walls, construction materials. "It's a mess," he'd say. "As soon as it's done, you can come see it." 8 months. 8 months of excuses that seemed plausible in isolation, but now formed a damning pattern. He was never renovating. He was hiding a whole life. I didn't go back to Nathan's apartment. I went home shaking and called my best friend Aaliyah. "Married?" she kept repeating. "He's married?" His wife was there, Aaliyah, outside the elevator. She knew who I was. She knew I was staying at his apartment. Oh my God. Oh my God. My phone buzzed. "Nathan, everything okay? You left without saying goodbye." I stared at the message, rage building in my chest. "We need to talk," I typed back. "Now." He called within seconds, his voice smooth and concerned. "Baby, what's wrong? You sound upset." "I met Vivian." Silence. A beat too long. "Who?" Don't you dare." "I met your wife, Nathan, outside your apartment. The apartment you said was being renovated." More silence, then a sigh. "Okay, I can explain." Explain? You've been married this entire time, 8 months. We're separated, Janelle. It's complicated. Separated? She was at your apartment building. She knows exactly where you live. Does she know about me? I was going to tell her. I was waiting for the right time. The right time? While you were sleeping with me in her husband's bed? He started talking faster then. Damage control mode. They'd been having problems for years. The marriage was over and everything but paperwork. He'd fallen for me and didn't know how to handle it. He was protecting me from drama until the divorce was finalized. I let him talk, let him spin his web of excuses and justifications. Then I said the only words I had left. Don't ever contact me again. I hung up before he could respond. The aftermath. The shame hit first. That crushing, suffocating shame of being the other woman. I hadn't chosen it. I hadn't known. But it didn't matter. I'd been sleeping with someone's husband for 8 months. I'd worn his shirts and kissed him goodbye and dreamed about our future. All while another woman waited at home, wondering where her husband was. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't stop replaying every moment, searching for signs I'd missed, berating myself for being so blind. My friends tried to comfort me. You didn't know, Aaliyah said. This isn't your fault. But I couldn't shake the guilt. Couldn't stop thinking about Vivian's face by the elevator. The controlled calm that was clearly masking devastation. I'd been a weapon used to destroy another woman's marriage. It didn't matter that I hadn't known. The damage was done. 2 weeks later, I received a Facebook message from Vivian. My hands trembled as I opened it. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to ask, did you know? I typed and deleted my response a dozen times before settling on the truth. No, I had no idea until I saw you. He told me he was single, that he'd recently gotten out of something complicated. I'm so sorry. I would never knowingly. Her response came an hour later. I believe you. You're not the first. There have been others. I always blame them, but the real problem is him. I'm finally leaving. I just wanted to know if you were another woman he manipulated, or if you knew what you were doing. I was manipulated, I wrote back. I feel sick about all of it. Me too. But maybe we can both start healing now. That was the last message between us. But something in that exchange loosened the grip of shame on my heart. I wasn't a villain. I was a victim. Just like her. Nathan didn't go quietly. He showed up at my apartment with flowers and apologies, called constantly, sent long texts about how much he loved me, how he'd leave Vivian for good if I just gave him another chance. I made a mistake, he pleaded through my door. But what we have is real. Don't throw it away because I handled things badly. Handled things badly. Like his marriage was a minor administrative error. Go home, Nathan, to your wife. I don't want her. I want you. You don't get to want anything. You lost that right when you lied to me for 8 months. He kept coming back for weeks. Eventually, I threatened to call his wife, and that finally stopped him. But even after he was gone, I had to deal with the wreckage he'd left behind. The trust issues, the paranoia, the fear that every man I'd ever meet was hiding something. I'd been so careful, asked all the right questions, and still got played. How could I ever trust my judgment again? My therapist said something that stuck with me. You're not responsible for the lies people tell you. You're only responsible for how you respond when the truth is revealed. I'd responded by walking away, by refusing to participate in destruction once I knew what was happening, by choosing my integrity over my feelings. That had to count for something. Healing was slow. I took a year off dating entirely, used the time to rebuild my relationship with myself, with God, with the truth of who I was outside of romantic partnership. I joined a support group for women who'd unknowingly been involved with married men. There were more of us than I'd expected. Smart, successful women who'd been expertly deceived by men who'd perfected the art of double lives. We weren't stupid. We weren't desperate. We were human beings who believed the people who said they loved us. And we were all learning the same lesson. Some people are very, very good at lying. I learned to ask better questions. Not just, are you single? But, when did your last relationship end? Do you still communicate with your ex? Why haven't I met your friends? Why can't I see where you live? I learned that secrecy is a red flag, not a sign of romance. I learned that it's complicated usually means I'm lying about something. I learned to trust my instincts, even when someone's words sound perfect. Most importantly, I learned that being deceived says nothing about my worth. It only reveals the character of the deceiver. Nathan wasn't a mistake I made. He was a test I passed, eventually, by walking away when the truth became clear. 2 years later, I met James at church. Not a whirlwind romance, not love at first sight, a slow, careful building of trust over months of friendship before anything romantic began. He invited me to meet his family on our third date. I'd seen his apartment by the second week. His phone was never face down, and he answered calls in front of me without hesitation. I'm an open book, he said when I admitted my past. Whatever you need to feel safe, I'll do. I'm not here to hide anything. It took me months to fully believe him, to stop waiting for the mask to slip, to accept that not everyone was Nathan. But James was patient. He understood that my caution wasn't about him. It was about what I'd survived. We got married last spring. Small ceremony, honest vows. He promised to be faithful. I believed him, not blindly, not naively, but with the earned confidence of a man who'd proven himself trustworthy. To every woman who's discovered the man she loved belonged to someone else. The shame you feel is misplaced. It belongs to him, not you. You loved honestly. You trusted genuinely. You did nothing wrong except believe someone who chose to lie. That's not foolishness. That's humanity. But now that you know the truth, you have a choice. Participate in the destruction, or walk away with your integrity intact. Choose integrity, every time. The right man won't ask you to be complicit in breaking someone else's vows. The right man won't have to hide you, explain you, or schedule you around another life. The right man will be exactly who he says he is. And if he isn't, if his words and his life don't match, walk away, no matter how much it hurts, because you deserve truth. You deserve transparency. You deserve someone who chooses you completely, not in the margins of a life he's living with someone else. Never settle for a partial love. You're worth the whole thing.